Well, delighted to say that joining me on the Godcast this week is Steve Jones, former footballer for Northern Ireland, for Burnley, for Walsall, Motherwell, lots of clubs. We'll talk about a bit of that in a minute. But Steve, it's good to get you on. How are you doing?
I'm really good, thank you. I know it's been a bit of a battle trying to get on, but no, it's all good. Looking forward to it. I've been great. Thank you very much.
I know football fans love these podcasts because, you know, for for a period of time, Steve, you guys are heroes, aren't you? And then as the career moves on, people kind of lose touch and they wonder where you went, what happened. So just remind us, when did you actually retire from football?
I'm still playing at the moment. I'm nearly 49, so I'm still playing for a local team. I've been just recently last season was a player manager just for a local team called Malpass. So I'm just playing here and there now at the moment. The legs are getting a bit more weary, a bit more tired, but no, I'm still enthusiastic, still hungry, and I still enjoy playing.
Yeah, good stuff. I used to be a ref and I used to do trials matches down at Turf, and I remember refing around the time when you were playing. You got happy memories of Gawthorpe back then?
Oh yes, definitely. I remember when Steve Cotterill was a manager, he used to make us run from the ground all the way up to Goldthorpe training for a warm up, and then run all the way back after training. So it was quite a grueling place to run up to, especially that hill up to the top and then leveled out. But no, I've been to the training ground. Quite lucky to have seen it as it is now, and it's very impressive.
Let's just go back a bit, Steve. I was looking you up on old Wikipedia and stuff, and I was in Derry earlier this year, and that's where you grew up for the early part of your life. What were your kind of memories and recollections of time in Derry?
Yeah, well, I'm actually due to go back there visit me dad next Wednesday, so I'll be flying back there just for a few days to see him. But no, it's yeah, I was born there, born and raised in out in the Galvin Hospital. Lived there till I was around about 11 years old, and then my father got a job over in England, and then we moved to a place called Failsworth, which is near Oldham. Lived there for quite a number of years. Did a lot of my high school in there, and then moved to Crewe where when I signed for Crewe in 2001. So yeah, fond memories.
I don't want to get political, Steve, but what's your recollection of being a young lad in Derry? I was fascinated by it. It's only a few months since I visited. I found it absolutely fascinating. I've been to Northern Ireland a few times now, and what was it like as a kid?
Yeah, depending which side you're brought up on, it's whether it's London Derry or Derry. For me, it's London Derry. But yeah, it was all geared up for the marching band on the 12th of July. So I didn't really play that much football, to be honest. I was enjoying doing the drums in a band. My brother was a flutist, so I'm used to being a thing called the Boys Brigade. We used to go on adventures and things like that, like the Boy Scouts over here. It was called the Boys Brigade over there. So it wasn't really till I moved across and we did PE senior school first year at senior school. I always remember the teacher saying, "Oh, what position do you play?" And I went, "I don't play football." He went, "Oh, I'll just stick you at right back." And all I always remember is I got the ball at right back, took the whole team on and scored a goal. And that was the first PE lesson we had. And he went, "Oh, you're very good, aren't you?" I went, "Well, I didn't realise I was until," and then that's where it sort of progressed. Really, was the senior school over here.
So, who were the first club that showed some interest?
I played for a team. Well, when I was at school, I used to play for a team called Chadderton. It's where John Pemberton and David Platt played when they were younger. And then I always remember what Sam Allardyce came to watch, and my dad goes off Sam Allardyce come to watch someone, and then my manager told me he's come to watch me. So I think I'd scored 4 goals that game. I think we won about 6-3 or something like that. 6-2. It was a high scoring game. And then he offered me to come down on trial. Blackpool, he was a manager at Blackpool at the time. He said, "Oh, we'd like you to come and have a trial game at Port Vale away." And I went, "Yeah, fantastic." And then I turned up, and Port Vale is known to have sort of one of the biggest pitches in league football. And my style was fast. I was quite quick and I was pacey, so it literally suited me to the ground. Remember he brought me off after like 50 minutes, just something to the second half. He went, "Oh, we want to sign you," and then that's where it progressed from. Sam Allardyce and Phil Brown was the assistant.
Was that did that come as an even greater surprise than him turning up to see you? I mean, were you kind of thinking about being a professional footballer, Steve, or had you had your eyes on other things?
No, not at all. It was just something I enjoyed. I didn't have any aspirations, or I didn't really dream. I didn't think I was good enough to play professional football. It was just like a hobby to me. I had a part-time job as well, and obviously when I got offered the chance to go professional, I was absolutely delighted.
And some players, Steve, they kind of just do this, don't they? They go on an upward trajectory and they go youth team, reserves, first team. Just again, looking at your career, it looked like it wasn't quite like that, was it? You had to move about a bit, and you ended up actually going back to Ireland. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, I was always one to have to really fight to try and progress. I mean, a lot of people like sort of went to Crewe. They were technically gifted. It was one of those clubs where
Mm.
if you were from the academy, you were gifted how you received the ball, how you pass it. Well, I was just very raw, unnatural. Just had loads of speed. I was quite skinny lad. I got pushed over quite a lot, but then I sort of tried to learn to ride tackles, get brought down for penalties. So I always had to work hard and improve. I wasn't one of those naturally gifted players, and it wasn't until I went to Crewe where obviously Dario Gradi really, really improved me technical wise as a player, and then that's where it really progressed.
And then going to Ireland, Sligo Rovers, was that a full time opportunity for you out there?
Yeah, so basically, when I went to Blackpool, it was come to the end of the season, and Blackpool failed to. They're in the two-legged playoffs to get promotion, and they got beat in the second leg, and then Sam sort of got the sack, and obviously I only signed a one-year contract. So, but then I think it was probably 4 to 5 weeks after that, he rang me and said there was an opportunity at Bury, and I was only living 20 minutes from Bury, and it was Stan Turnip was the manager. He knew Stan very well, and he told Stan about me. And then he invited me down, trained with him for a week, and then he offered me a year's professional contract at Bury, and that's how it sort of progressed. And then one of the, after my contract had finished, it was quite a tough to break into that team because I think they got from the old Division Three to Division One in consecutive seasons. Bury it was very hard to break into. They had players like Michael Jackson, Chris Ketty, Michael Johnson, Lenny John Rose. They had a very, very strong team. It was very difficult. And I always remember Nicky Reid was the right back at the time. Now he got offered the player manager's job at Sligo Rovers. And he said to me, obviously I know you're from Ireland, but would you come across and play for us? They're in Europe as well, Sligo. So I thought, do you know what? I'll go back and play for Sligo Rovers. And I think I was there for, I think it was 3 years, something like that? 2 years, 3 years. So yeah, really, really good times. I had my first child there, born Luke. So yeah, very, very positive and a very memorable place to go.
Was it always your intention to get back into the English Football League? Because there's a lot of English pros out in Ireland now, aren't there?
There is, and it's a very, very productive, very, very challenging league. The North and the South of Ireland leagues, and I think I had a really good season at Sligo. Scored quite a lot of goals, lots of assists, and Celtic and Rangers were sniffing around. There was quite a lot in the paper over there that they were going to put an offer in for me. Didn't materialise. And I went to a team called Bray Wanderers. I was sort of a bit homesick as well at the time because all my family were living in England at the time. Um, Went to Bray for like 6 months. Still got homesick, and then I thought, you know what, I need to go back to England. And I went back to England, played for a local non-league club called Chorley FC.
No, Charlie,
Um,
very well.
yeah, I played there for the second part of the season, and then we played a team called Lee RMI last game of the season. I think I scored a hat trick against them, and they were the most up and coming team. So they sort of pinched me at the end of the season. Signed for Lee RMI, and we got two promotions and two consecutive seasons. Got to the conference, the Vauxhall Conference, and at the time they had Russian and Diamonds. You were putting loads of money into it. Yeovil were there. Doncaster Rovers were in the team, and we were beating all these teams. We were on Sky. We played Fulham live on Sky in the FA Cup, and then that's when Crewe came calling. And then I think they bought me for I think it was 150,000 from Lee RMI.
What was when you were in that kind of non-league period of your career, Steve? What was your mentality? Were you thinking I can get to a better level than this, or was there an element of kind of this is what it's going to be for me, and I'm just going to make the most of what I've got?
Yeah, there was obviously an element of doubt if I could make it up to the professional game because I say I was quite skinny, quite raw, unnatural. But I did score quite a lot of goals. I think I scored 20 odd goals in the conference, and then that's what Crewe put the offer in. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it all because I was working at the time and playing for Lee RMI part time, and met up with Dario Gradi, Neil Baker, had a good conversation with them. They were renowned for bringing good non-league players through and improving them. So that's what I did, and then obviously the rest is history.
And just before we go back, we'll just take a little step back. I didn't realize that you were with Stan, and I was going to ask you about Stan because there's been a lot of Burnley lads who've been on have told some incredible, almost unbelievable anecdotes about Stan Turner.
Yeah.
Was he a good part of your career? Just share a bit of that, Steve.
Yeah, not really, because I say I was only 18. Obviously, I wasn't in the first team. I was trying to break into the first team. So even though I was training with him daily, he had high standards. You had to give it your all in training. He was very thorough. He wouldn't leave any stone unturned in his process. He was quite methodical in his thinking. But don't get me wrong, he had a very, very bad temper as well. If you weren't doing your job or you got on the wrong side of him, a few objects would have been thrown as well.
Hmm.
But no, it was just basically in training where I saw everything. The match days were sort of I wasn't really involved. I was trying to break into the first team, but I was always in the reserves then.
Who was Frank Casper with him then at Bury?
Ronnie Ronnie Jepson, I
Ronnie
think it was
Jepson.
player assistant manager. I think he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ronnie Jepson. Yeah,
Okay, so let's be honest. Crewe was probably the club. I mean, obviously Burnley fans being Burnley fans will remember you for Burnley, but you were there quite a while, weren't you?
yeah. 5 seasons I was there. Yeah, we had two promotions in that time, which was really good. Really good memories. Won a couple of Player of the Year awards and top goal scorer awards. So it was a very, very good time for me, very productive. It's where I sort of settled probably on the early part of the career.
And like you say, it had this reputation, didn't it, for you know for young raw talent, and a lot of players progressed from there as well, didn't they?
Indeed. And Dario was very, very thorough. He was probably the best manager to get. He used to tell you things that you don't think about, like where you should be, where to run, when to run, how to receive it, how to lose your marker. He taught you literally everything. And every training day, there was a process. It was mostly 11v11, and you used to walk through if the ball was at one side, where you should be. If it was transferred, where we should be now, what runs you should make. He just improved you as a player so much. And I probably it was thanks to him that I've sort of had the career that I have.
Mm. And then from there, Burnley, you get this call from Burnley. Just take us through that a little bit, Steve, if you will, because this is like Burnley are definitely on an upward trajectory at this point, aren't they? They've kind of gone through the lean and mean times, and they're a club who are definitely progressing. I remember those seasons really clearly, and but just tell us a little bit about that. Were you excited by that prospect of you? It was Championship, wasn't it? That you were. It was a level you'd not been playing in. Did you have any of those self-doubts creeping in again, or just talk us through that process?
No, because I say with Crewe, we were in the Championship for 3 out of the 5 seasons, so I was used to the league. I'd just finished Player of the Season, and my contract ran out. Um, Mark Hughes at Blackburn Rovers, he put an offer in for 1.5 million for me in the January market. Dario had turned it down because he said if he'd just sold Dean Ashton previous windows to Norwich, I think it was. He won't let me go. He won't obviously just sold Dean. So literally, I was a free agent in the summer. So he turned that money down, and I became a free agent. So I had about 6 or 7 clubs after me, and I always remember I was sat in Stoke City, John Rudge's office, nearly signed, and Michael Duff actually rang me. He went, "Have you signed for anyone?" I'm just about to sign for Stoke, and he went, "No, no, no, give me a minute. Let's have a chat." And so I said to my agent, "I'm just going outside and speaking to someone." So I spoke to Duffo via Steve, and we had a really good conversation. And then I went up there, had a good chat with him, and then ended up signing.
Tell us about Steve Cottrell, Steve. I try and follow as many ex-Burnley contact people as I can, and when Steve Cottrell came to Burnley, I was quite excited, and I remember him talking about that he wanted to be not just a Championship manager, he wanted to be a Premiership manager, and I think he even went on record as saying he wanted to be the England manager. And obviously, his career's not perhaps panned out as perhaps he'd hoped. But what was he like as a coach and a manager? What was his attributes? What were his strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah, he was a very tough manager to play for. Very tough. Got angry very, very easily. Very stern. Um, but no, he demanded in training every single time. And if you didn't put it in on the Saturday, you were in on the Sunday doing road runs and cross country runs. So you knew you had to be on your best game. And it wasn't the easiest manager to get along with. Um, his sort of ethos was if he was a bin man, he wanted to be the best bin man out there. So he wanted to strive to be the best manager he could, which was great for him. But when I was there, it was quite tough to get along with him. If that makes sense. He was a proper stern manager. Some players needed an arm around them, some didn't, and then some could take criticism and shouting in your face. Well, I was sort of one of those. Do you know what I mean?
I was going to say, what kind of trainer were you, Steve? Were you just tell us about some of the regimes and things?
Yeah, I was always wanting to give my all. I always wanted to, if I was playing in the first team, I wanted to always stay in the first team. And if I wasn't, I'd always try harder. I'd stay behind. I'd get there early, do more work before training, stay behind, try and practice on the things that I weren't so good at, just to try and be the best version of what I could be, really.
Do you have fond memories of that season? Because my memories are Burnley fans really like you. They really took to you.
Yeah, really, really loved my time. Fantastic fan base, home and away. It was always amazing. They were always chanting. They were always good to me. And I always in turn wanted to try my best for them. And I say we had some wonderful memories, some brilliant games, especially against the likes of Blackpool and Preston, especially live on Sky, and of course the Arsenal game in the FA Cup. So I had some fantastic memories, and they were a fantastic fan base to play through and play under.
And then Steve Cottrell moves on, and Owen Coyle comes on the scene, doesn't he? And he didn't play you an awful lot, did he?
Yeah, and my last season before my contract ran out, I started the start of the season, and then I did mold my ligaments in my knee.
Mm.
I was out for about 4 months, and then that period, Burnley were right near the top of the league. They were thereabouts. And I was always breaking down. I couldn't get my fitness back. And then Owen, he was very good, really nice man, really really nice guy. Got on really well with him. He said, "But we need to get you some match fitness." So I ended up going to Huddersfield on loan, understand turning. Went there for a few months to get some match fitness. But that's probably the season I probably struggled with injuries the most, to be honest. And that was obviously the catalyst for Burnley getting into the Premier League that year.
Yeah. What do you think it is about certain clubs and certain fits, Steve? I mean, Stan's time at Huddersfield didn't go didn't go all that well, did it?
No, and it's hard to put like a reason on it. Sometimes your face fits better than somewhere else, and you just feel it inside. You feel settled where you are, the surroundings and the people, the environment. It's just little things like that. And in some places you just don't feel as if you fit, and things just don't work out. And then that's a fact of life. Any job that you do, you might change your profession
Mm.
in you, and you think, "Oh, I've made the wrong decision." But that's life. There's loads of challenges in there. Right or wrong, you go with your gut, don't you?
Yeah. And just before we move on from that Burnley period, Steve, who were the best players you enjoyed playing with in that Burnley side? Who were your kind of closest allies and the ones you thought, he's not bad?
Yeah, yeah. We had a really good car school. But there was me, there's Beastie, Brian Jensen, there was Gifton Noah Williams, there was Wayne
Mm.
Thomas,
Yeah.
and there's Adi Akinbai. We sort of formed a really good gel, a good partnership. I'd say there was five of us in the car school, and it was, I think them five were obviously Duffo and Kyle Lafton, the Northern Ireland connection.
Mhm.
But no, they were all a good bunch. Joey Good Johnson, Ginge was there. They were all a great bunch of lads. and they really made you feel welcome. And it was a challenging period, especially with my injury, that record, that very last season. But I say really good fond memories of the town and the supporters.
Was it a wrench to leave Burnley, or was it right? Did you think this? I just got to go now.
Yeah, I really wanted to. I wish I was there in one more season because I say that last season they got promotion to the Premier League. I felt I could give something, but it just obviously my injuries hampered me that season. I just couldn't get my full fitness, and the full fitness in football is very very important. Gives you the confidence, gives you the belief. It just gives you everything really when you're fully fit. And then when you struggle for months and months and months, you lose your fitness. You're still feeling your injury, and it's very hard on the mental side of the game to fulfil your potential. Really, I just wish I had one more season. It would have been
Yeah.
great.
And Burnley been on a bit of a pendulum, Steve, aren't they? It's kind of season in, season out, but it's incredible. I mean, I go with my daughter, and she just doesn't realise how it used to be. I've had wonderful guys on, Roger Eli and the likes of Winnie White, Winston White, and just how it used
Yeah,
to be. They've come a long way. What do you think of Burnley's prospects this year? I feel they're quite strong under Parker.
yeah. I think it's probably the strongest recruitment they've had going into the Premier League, and they've had a really good start, haven't they? Quite a good start. So hopefully they can get. I think what it'll be injuries. If they get a lot of injuries to key players, I think that could hamper them. But fingers crossed. I think they do deserve to stay in the Premier League, and I'll be rooting for them this season.
Yeah. So you leave Burnley and you become, is it fair to say, a bit of a journeyman, Steve? You
Yeah,
you play for a lot of clubs, and I wonder what that does to a professional footballer. A lot of people, um, you know, perhaps don't think about the impact that it has on you as an individual. And you mentioned your child earlier, and the family life. You're moving. Do you
yeah,
do you go alone? Do you take the family with you? How does it all work out? And what's going on in your head at these stages?
yeah. Well, you've got to go where the contracts are. I was lucky after Burnley, I got a 2-year deal at Walsall, and I had a very good season there with Darren Byfield and Troy Deeney. So I think I finished the second top goal scorer just underneath Troy Deeney. So really good season there. And then the second season, I think towards the last third of the season, I did all my ankle ligaments, and then that seen me through to my contract end. And then I got a phone call off Stuart McCall, who actually, when I was at Burnley, went on loan first for Huddersfield for a few months. Played really well under Stuart McCall, fantastic manager, fantastic person. And he said, come up to Motherwell for a season. So I went up there and finished my career.
Happy time, good club.
Fantastic club, similar to
Yeah,
Burnley, really good fan base, really nice people that were running the club. And it was a pleasure to play for them.
yeah. And within all this, Steve, we not mentioned the international caps. How many caps did you get in the end for Northern Ireland?
A 30 in the end, 30 caps.
That must be incredibly proud for you to have those, and you know treasured memories, I would imagine.
Yeah, from growing up as a young kid in Northern Ireland, I never dreamt of representing the country and playing against sort of the best players in the world. I mean, my debut was Italy away, Maldini. Then there was a double header, Spain at home, Carlos Puyol. And then obviously play against England with John Terry, Ashley Cole, David Beckham to Ronaldo for Portugal. I would never ever have dreamed of playing against such legends of the game, and really is a privilege. But you don't realise, you don't really get time to digest it when you're in the moment. It's only till you finish your career and you have time to reflect and you appreciate it more.
And what about after the career, Steve? A lot of people, you hear lots of stories, don't you? Footballers struggling. It's been a way of life for many footballers from kind of early teens for some of them, right up to mid-30s or whenever it is they finish, and then it disappears. What was it like for you? I know you said you're still involved, but how did you kind of slowly slip away from it while maintaining the love and interest of it?
Yeah, very, 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 very tough. I don't think there's any footballer when they finish career say they take it lightly. because it's a huge dramatic change. It'd probably be like someone who's been in the army for 20 years and they've come out into the
Mm.
North Civvy Street. Mentally, very, very challenging. And if you haven't got any plans for your future, or you've not got any qualifications, or you don't know what, you start back on the ladder again. And it can be very, very a dull and dark world, really is. But then you've got to, it's life after football. You've got to pick yourself up. You've got to find a new career, a new way of life, new challenges, which you've got to take on sort of head on. And that's what I've done. I've recently just finished football coaching. I'm now going to train to be a mental health nurse. So I've started that new job on Monday. So I'm going to be a clinical support worker, and then a few months down the line, train to be a mental health nurse because it's something that's very important to me, mental health, and
Mm.
just want to give that something back.
Well, you've just gone. You were in high my estimation anyway, Steve. But you've even got shot up even further now because, in the context of where I'm in Burnley, I see a real need for that. I see some of the challenges of people who are affected by that, and I see people in that workforce who are feeling the strain and stress of it all. And so, for people, anybody wanting to go into any form of social care, I think it's a wonderful job. It's tough, but I think people will be really impressed to hear that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it'll be very challenging, but also equally it'll be very rewarding. Knowing when you get a patient that's discharged, you've helped them along on their journey to
Yeah.
a better place, and then that's when you get that sense of achievement, like you've helped someone in life.
Yeah, well, great. It's really great to hear that, and really hope that goes well for you, Steve, and keep up the football. Do you get along to games? Of all those clubs that you played for, is there one that you kind of hold closest to your heart?
Well, I'm still living in the Crewe area, so obviously the ground's only around the corner from me. I've been to a few Burnley games last season. I meet up with the lads and come and watch a couple of the games. So hopefully this season I'll be able to get to watch some more and just come back to the place where I had some good times.
Yeah, great. Well, Steve, I'm really grateful for your time. I really love chatting footy, and I'm sure Burnley fans and fans of all your other clubs will find this of interest. Hope everybody's enjoyed the Godcast. If they do, check it out. There's lots of sports people, mainly Burnley footballers, but there's lots of other famous sports people on there. But Steve, thanks ever so much for coming on the Godcast. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you and for inviting me on. Appreciate it.